This month, we are celebrating something truly special. Christina Burch, a dedicated radiation therapist at SkinCure Oncology, is currently running for the Radiation Therapy Chapter Delegate in the 2025 ASRT election. So I had the privilege of meeting Christina back in 2017 during our time in the Student to Leadership Development Program. And since then, she has proven herself to be an exceptional technologist, colleague, mentor, advocate, and friend. So I am absolutely thrilled to hear her presentation today on empowering radiologic technologists and advocating in our profession. So Christina, I am here if you need anything, but take it away.
Good evening, fellow medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals. I want to thank you for being here with me this evening for this continuing education credit opportunity. Today, we'll be exploring how advocacy plays a pivotal role in shaping the future of the radiologic technology profession. Through active advocacy, radiologic technologists and their professional organizations help influence policies that directly impact their work environment, foster ongoing skill development, and ensure the profession's continued growth and evolution. You're here with me sharing your Thursday night to get that sought-after CE credit. So who am I and why are you spending your Thursday here? Well, my name is Christina Burch. I'm a radiation therapist for SkinCure Oncology in Greeley, Colorado. I'm board certified in diagnostic radiography, radiation therapy, and vascular interventional radiography. I also have received my Bachelor's of Science in Radiologic Science from Midwestern State University in 2020. I'm currently running for the Radiation Therapy Chapter Delegate in the current ASRT election. And as a disclaimer, SkinCure Oncology is not a representative for the ASRT. With that being said, now you know who I am, at least on my resume. So why am I giving you this presentation? It's a simple answer: passion and empowerment. As a student, I became involved with both my state affiliate at the time, the Illinois State Society of Radiologic Technologists, and the American Society of Radiologic Technologists. I tried to recall the very first time I volunteered for the IG-SRT, and I believe it was in 2016 at the annual conference when I was an X-ray student. I think I volunteered to help with the silent auction, something very small. My mentors and my teachers always helped you feel like the littlest contribution was making a big impact. The following year, in 2017, I attended the IG-SRT annual conference again, and it was an incredible year. Through the IG-SRT, I was awarded the opportunity to represent Illinois in the ASRT Student to Leadership Development Program. The ASRT Student to Leadership Development Program is a 3-year program that offers students a chance to get to know the ASRT, attend educational sessions, and network with medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals. When I was awarded this opportunity, I had no idea what to expect. I had just graduated and become registered in diagnostic radiography, and I was about to start my radiation therapy educational program. The ASRT Educational Symposium and Annual Governments and House of Delegates meeting was in Orlando that year. I arrived to Orlando with butterflies in my stomach, and I immediately connected with my mentor from the state of Illinois, Kathy Kukek. She was one of the IG-SRT affiliate delegates that year. Kathy was so kind to introduce me to anyone and everyone in the radiology community. I remember fangirling so hard at some incredible authors and mentors from across the US that she had introduced me to. Part of my trip included the educational symposium as well, in which I heard some incredible speakers give presentations on topics close to their heart. I'll never forget the presentation on forensic radiology. That was pretty amazing. The next portion of my trip was during the House of Delegates meeting. During certain sessions, I would sit on the House floor with Kathy. She would explain to me the process of what was happening and the order in which everything occurred. Eventually, I also met my assigned SLDP mentor, Miss Barb Henty. And I can't stress this enough, everyone knows Barb. She's a decorated retired nuclear medicine technologist, fellow of the ASRT, and life member of the ASRT. During those House of Delegates meetings, I was able to sit with Barb for a few sessions, and that was exciting. Barb is outspoken and has a burning passion for her profession. Her and her late husband even attended an ASRT meeting as part of their honeymoon. Overall, the opportunity and experience was incredible. I can honestly say these two mentors lit a fire in my heart for my profession, and I had no idea that there were people fighting and advocating for me, other students, and other technologists in rooms that we had never even been in or thought about. The passion that overflows in those meetings was humbling. I realized that these people were making the profession better for the next generation, people like me. After my experience at SLDP, I made a promise to continue advocating for the next generations as well. When I returned, I gave multiple presentations to classes of students about the ASRT Student Leadership to Development Program and my experience. I also took a position on the IG-SRT board as Northern Region Advisor. I have also volunteered on the ASRT Committee for RT Advocacy, and I am a current member of the Illinois State Society of Radiologic Technologists, the Missouri Society of Radiologic Technologists, and the Colorado Society of Radiologic Technologists. My next endeavor in my journey is running for Radiation Therapy Chapter Delegate in the current ASRT election. Being able to represent the Radiation Therapy Chapter in the House of Delegates would be an honor. I do have one thing to add before I go on. When I asked Barb Henty about her little bio for today's presentation, shout out to Barb, who I know is on the call, and I hopefully am making you proud. Barb mentioned what she's most proud of, and it resonated with me. She's most proud of helping elevate 14 fellows and 2 life members to the ASRT. She said there's nothing more rewarding than helping a fellow technologist achieve the highest honors available for medical imaging professionals. I do want to note that at last year's House of Delegates, Barb helped elevate Kathy to life member. That's this photo. I wasn't missing that for the world. And in summation, my experience has led me to become extremely passionate about elevating our profession by offering education and sharing my knowledge, building connections, and empowering the field of medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals. Truly, providing this CE to you all brings me joy, and I truly hope that you can see why I'm so passionate through this presentation. I hope to inspire you as my mentors have inspired me. So now you know a little bit about me. So let's dive deeper into empowering RTs. Today's presentation, we will ask the question, what is advocacy? I will introduce you to the American Society of Radiologic Technologists and their objectives. We will take a look back in history of not only the ASRT, but the medical imaging profession and people advocating for us. We will take a look at the ASRT's Be Seen campaign. And finally, we will learn how to become an effective advocate. At the end of today's CE credit, my hope is that I have sparked an interest in your heart. I hope to inspire you and help educate you on this incredible profession and those who advocate for and empower us. So I want to take a second. I want to ask you a question. What does advocacy mean to you? I asked a few of my friends in the medical imaging and radiation therapy community to answer a simple question. What does advocacy mean to you? Here are a few of their responses. First, I want to read a quote from my friend and colleague, Adrienne Tovar. When asked the question, what does advocacy mean to you? Adrienne said, in a nutshell, to me, advocacy means being that warrior who's going to brave battles for people you care about or patients you treat, offer support when needed, and speak out for those who don't always have a voice for themselves, and help others change what needs to be changed. I also want to play a short video from Maddie Appleseth, who's a radiation therapist in Everett, Washington.
My name is Maddie. I am a radiation therapist out of Everett, Washington, and I have been asked what does advocacy mean to me, and I believe it is going beyond the standard or what is normalized for yourself or for others, and that can be as simple as just finding out the why, questioning a decision that was made on your behalf or on someone else's behalf that affects your care or another's care. It's about educating yourself to find answers for patients who are confused on a response, confused on a result, letting them know that they are heard, and if they are unhappy with something, even if it doesn't have to do with you, it's about going above and beyond for the patient.
So I chose both of these responses for a specific reason. Can you notice a theme? In both of these responses, the common theme is advocating for my patients. As a medical imaging and radiation therapy professional, we deliver hope to our patients on a daily basis. We advocate for them to have the very best care. As I transition to the next slide, I want to take a moment to ask you another question. We advocate for our patients daily, but who advocates for us? All right, bear with me. I had another correlation in responses from more professionals. When I asked the same question to Megan Lovelace, she responded, "When I think of the word advocacy, I immediately think of standing up for and educating others on a matter that you feel very strongly about, whether that be in regard to your health, your job, your hobbies, etc. I think the backbone of advocacy or advocating for something is passion. Behind every advocate is something or someone there exists passion, a true understanding and belief that what you're advocating for is true, meaningful, and deserves to be shared." I also want to share a short video sent to me by Breck Dowling, a radiation therapist in Colorado.
Hi, my name is Breck, and I am the radiation therapist here in Boulder, Colorado for GentleCure. And what advocacy really means to me, I think it has two parts. The first is that it's being passionate and believing in a cause or a product or a system or a person. And then I think the second part involves sharing that information, educating, maybe persuading others to see your side of that passion.
So can you notice the correlation? Here we notice a correlation of passion, and I am who I am, so I want to pose another question to you. Are you happy in your career? Are you passionate about your career? What choices do you make for yourself professionally, and how do you advocate for yourself or for your fellow professionals? Now that we've heard from some medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals, what is the answer? If I can narrow it down, advocacy encompasses many things. Advocacy in the radiologic technology field involves actively supporting, educating, promoting, and protecting the interests of the radiologic technologists, our patients, and the profession as a whole. It's an essential part of ensuring that the field continues to grow, evolves with new technologies, and maintains high standards for patient care. Advocacy encompasses various aspects, including legislative action, professional standards, and workforce development. Professional societies play a key role in advocating for the medical imaging and radiation therapy profession. Before, I asked you a question. We advocate for our patients daily, but who advocates for us? The answer is simple: professional societies. Notable examples of such organizations include your state affiliate societies and the American Society of Radiologic Technologists, or the ASRT. These societies are instrumental in advancing the profession through advocacy, education, and policy development. The American Society of Radiologic Technologists is the world's largest and oldest membership association for medical imaging technologists and radiation therapists. Founded in 1920, the ASRT now has more than 156,000 members. Its business office is located in Albuquerque, New Mexico. In order to know a company better, ask about their mission and vision. A vision and mission are key components of a company's strategic foundation, guiding its direction and purpose. A mission describes the company's core purpose, its reason for existence, and what it aims to achieve in the present. It focuses on what the company does, how it does it, and whom it serves. A mission statement is generally more practical and action-oriented. The mission of the American Society of Radiologic Technologists is to advance and elevate the medical imaging and radiation therapy profession and to enhance the quality and safety of patient care. The vision represents the company's aspirations and long-term goals. It articulates where the company wants to be in the future and outlines the desired impact it wants to have on the world or its industry. It's usually more inspirational and forward-thinking. The ASRT's vision is the American Society of Radiologic Technologists will be the premier professional association for the medical imaging and radiation therapy community through education, advocacy, research, and innovation. As we continue to talk about the ASRT as a company, we need to talk about its governance. Governance encompasses the system by which an organization is controlled and operates, and the mechanisms by which it and its people are held to an account. The ASRT is governed by its articles of incorporation, bylaws, an elected board of directors, and a House of Delegates. So what are the articles of incorporation and bylaws? The Articles of Incorporation are the primary law of an association used to establish the general organization and governing of the association to achieve corporate existence. Bylaws are the secondary law of an association best used to detail how the society is formed and run. They are subordinate and complementary to the association's Articles of Incorporation. The American Society of Radiologic Technologists has an 8-member board of directors. Each year, the ASRT membership elects a president-elect, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Speaker and vice speaker are elected by the ASRT House of Delegates and at its business meeting during the annual Governance and House of Delegates meeting. The new board is installed at the annual meeting in June each year. Pictured here is your 2024-2025 Board of Directors, with the exception of Dan DeMeo in the gray suit. He recently took a position with the ASRT and no longer serves on the board as a result. I do want to note that each of these wonderful ASRT members are volunteers. According to ASRT CEO Melissa Pergola, the ASRT currently has about 600 volunteer positions. The House of Delegates is the legislative body of the ASRT, and it establishes professional standards of practice. It is comprised of chapter and affiliate voting delegates, with the potential of 168 delegates. Of those potential delegates, 60 are chapter delegates, and 108 are affiliate delegates. Chapters include bone densitometry, cardiac and vascular interventional, computed tomography, education, magnetic resonance imaging, mammography, management, medical dosimetry, military, nuclear medicine, quality management, radiation therapy, radiography, registered radiologist assistants, and sonography. The ASRT Educational Symposium, an annual Governance and House of Delegates meeting of 2025 is held June 19th through 22nd in Reno, Nevada. As a reminder, I am running for Radiation Therapy Chapter Delegate in the annual ASRT election. So now we know who the ASRT is. So what are their objectives? The ASRT has several objectives aimed at supporting the profession, improving the quality of patient care, advocating for radiologic technologists, and advancing the field of medical imaging and radiation therapy. These objectives help to promote the value of radiologic technologists, foster professional development, and ensure that the field continues to grow and adapt to new technologies and practices. So how does the ASRT achieve those objectives? The first way is by improving patient care. The ASRT plays a significant role in improving patient care. Through education, advocacy, standard setting, and workforce support, the ASRT ensures that radiologic technologists are well equipped to provide safe, accurate, and compassionate care. Here's how the ASRT contributes better to patient outcomes. The ASRT helps promote best practice and practice standards in a few ways, one being through clinical practice guidelines. The ASRT develops and disseminates practice standards for radiologic technologists. These guidelines help ensure that imaging procedures are performed accurately, safely, consistently, and reducing errors and improving diagnostic accuracy. Another way the ASRT helps promote best practice is through safety protocols. The ASRT advocates for and supports the implementation of radiation safety protocols to minimize patient exposure to unnecessary radiation while still achieving high-quality diagnostic images. Ensuring that radiologic technologists follow these safety standards leads to safer procedures and better patient outcomes. In addition, the ASRT promotes best practices through radiation protection. The ASRT works to influence policies and legislation that protect patients from unnecessary radiation exposure. Through advocacy efforts, ASRT ensures that appropriate safety measures are in place and that radiologic technologists are trained in safe imaging practices. Finally, the ASRT promotes best practice through patient-centered care. The ASRT promotes the concept of patient-centered care, which focuses on making decisions that prioritize the needs, preferences, and safety of patients. This approach leads to better patient satisfaction and care outcomes. Continuing education and training. The ASRT supports ongoing education. As we will talk about on the next few slides, the ASRT offers a variety of continuing education programs and training to ensure that radiologic technologists are up to date with the latest technological advancements, imaging techniques, and patient care practices. This knowledge helps technologists improve their clinical skills, which translates into more accurate imaging, reduced repeat images, and overall better care for our patients. Workforce development and support. The ASRT supports workforce development through training and certification. The ASRT provides resources that help radiologic technologists achieve and maintain certification in various imaging modalities, as well as training on management and providing education to future RTs. Certified technologists are often more skilled and knowledgeable, which translates into more accurate imaging, reduced repeat images, and overall better care for our patients. Patient education. One way to educate patients is through public education campaigning. The ASRT runs public education campaigns that help patients better understand the role of the radiologic technologist in their healthcare journey. Educating patients about the imaging process can reduce anxiety and improve their experience during diagnostic procedures. Another way that the ASRT achieves their objectives is through promoting the field of radiologic technology. The ASRT plays a significant role in promoting the field of radiologic technology through a variety of initiatives aimed at enhancing the profession, supporting professionals, and improving patient care. Here are some key ways the ASRT contributes. Advocacy, which we'll dive into in a future slide. Certification and credentialing. The ASRT supports and promotes certification through the American Registry of Radiologic Technologists, the ARRT, which sets standards for competency and ethical conduct in the field. The ASRT also provides resources for individuals to prepare for certification exams. Research. ASRT encourages research in the field by funding grants, publishing research findings in the Radiologic Technology Journal or the Radiation Therapist Journal, and hosting conferences focused on the latest developments in medical imaging and radiation therapy. Networking and community building. Through its membership, the ASRT connects radiologic technologists from across the country via an online platform called Communities. Through this platform, the ASRT fosters a sense of community among the people in all imaging professions. This platform allows professionals to share best practices, challenges, and innovations within the field. Public awareness. The ASRT works to educate the public and healthcare professionals about the role of radiologic technologist. They emphasize the importance of the profession in patient care, safety, and the use of imaging technologies in diagnosing and treating medical conditions. The Be Seen campaign and the Rad Position podcast are two recent public awareness campaigns. Standards and guidelines. The ASRT develops and promotes professional standards and ethical guidelines for radiologic technologists. These standards help ensure that the profession continues to provide high-quality care while maintaining patient safety. If I'm not mistaken, I believe everyone on this call knows continuing education credit opportunities are something that the ASRT offers. Do you know about all the other ways that the ASRT contributes to educating the medical imaging and radiation therapy community? The ASRT offers a wide range of educational opportunities designed to support radiologic technologists throughout their careers. These opportunities help technologists stay up to date with the latest advancements in the field, maintain their certifications, and enhance their skills. Here are some of the key educational offerings from the ASRT. CE credit courses help radiologic technologists maintain their ARRT certification. These CE credits are essential for compliance with the ARRT requirements, and the ASRT provides a wide variety of CE courses to meet different needs. The continuing education opportunities can be found in the CE library to be taken at your leisure. One place to find educational opportunity is also in the ASRT Essential Education Store. This store includes the following opportunities: online courses. The ASRT offers a variety of online courses covering a range of topics in radiologic technology. These courses allow radiologic technologists to learn at their own pace and are available for continuing education credit. Structured education bundles. The ASRT offers specialized education for technologists looking to advance in certain areas of radiologic technology, such as cardiac interventional radiography, computed tomography, vascular interventional radiography, which I actually personally completed in 2019, and how I ended up taking my boards in vascular interventional, and more. These series satisfy the ARRT 16 credit structured education requirements. The ASRT hosts live webinars that cover current trends, new technologies, and best practices in radiologic technology. These webinars allow professionals to access high-quality education on specific topics without having to leave their work or home. In addition to live webinars and courses, ASRT provides access to on-demand learning. This feature allows members to watch recorded sessions at their convenience, providing flexibility for busy professionals. The ASRT offers educational resources that support career development, including leadership training, educational tracks for emerging technologies, and advanced programs for professionals interested in moving on to roles like educators or managers. Another educational opportunity that the ASRT offers is through publications. Through its Radiologic Technology Journal, the Radiation Therapist Journal, and Directed Reading Supplement, the ASRT provides access to research articles, case studies, and clinical education studies on the latest developments in radiologic technology. These resources help professionals stay informed about emerging technologies and evidence-based practices. Another amazing way to offer educational opportunities to the medical imaging and radiation therapy community is through annual education conferences. The ASRT organizes annual meetings and conferences such as the ASRT Educational Symposium and Annual Governance and House of Delegates meeting, or the Annual Radiation Therapy Conference, which includes sessions, workshops, and keynote speeches. These events allow technologists to engage with experts, participate in hands-on learning, and network with professionals in the field. Don't forget about the ASRT Student to Leadership Development Program. If there are any students on the call, or if you have any students that you teach, please encourage them to apply. Applications open in the fall. And speaking of students, the ASRT also promotes education through scholarships and grants. The ASRT offers many scholarships for students pursuing a career in radiologic technology. These scholarships help alleviate the financial burden of education and to encourage more individuals to enter the field. Maintaining a presence on Capitol Hill allows the ASRT to keep the radiologic science profession on legislators' agendas on a continual basis and educates them about technological advances and career possibilities that can change rapidly. Reducing healthcare costs, maximizing patient safety, and increasing quality exams are primary goals of the ASRT. When it comes to legislative advocacy, the ASRT actively engages in lobbying efforts to influence state and federal policies that affect the profession. This includes pushing for laws related to licensure, certification, and reimbursement rates. They also advocate for scope of practice protections and the recognition of advanced practice roles like radiologist assistants. For example, MARCA. In the calendar year 2019, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services recognized RAs as a member of the radiologist-led team who can provide services under revised supervision levels. However, legislation is still needed to allow radiologists to submit claims to Medicare for non-diagnostic services performed by RAs. They directly supervise in both the hospital and office settings, as well as diagnostic services in hospitals. This new MARCA bill language allows RAs to be fully utilized in radiology practices to provide high quality, efficient, and cost-effective care to patients. This legislation is supported by the ASRT. In the realm of public policy, the ASRT engages in a wide range of public policy efforts to influence legislation and regulations that directly impact the radiologic technology profession and patient care. Their advocacy ensures that radiologic technologists have the training, tools, and support needed to provide safe, high-quality care while contributing to the advancements in the field. Through their work with legislators, healthcare organizations, and other stakeholders, the ASRT helps shape policies that benefit both professionals and patients. Some examples of the ASRT's involvement in public policy are Medicare reimbursement rates, state licensure, scope of practice, and radiation safety standards. As we know, as imaging technologists, state and federal issues both impact us as RTs. The ASRT addressing both state and federal issues through advocacy efforts, such as working to protect the scope of practice for radiologic technologists and advocating for safe imaging practices. One hot topic is state licensure. We will talk about the ASRT history with this topic shortly. However, I do want to define 3 terms when it comes to state regulations. Licensure is defined as any form of permission granted by state to practice. States varying in terminology with this topic, but license, certificate, or permit are a common term. The next is standard. Means that a regulatory board has required some education and training to be allowed to practice. This is usually your national credentials. And lastly, equipment regulations, meaning that the regulation around the operation of specific equipment has operator requirements. Each state does have their own regulations for each modality. You can find all states' current licensure or regulation status on the ASRT website. Of note, the ASRT does have an Advocacy Action Center. It's a public webpage where you can learn about state and federal issues affecting RTs, and then communicate with lawmakers and regulatory agencies in one easy-to-use platform. Anyone can visit this platform and submit correspondence to lawmakers. As I researched for this presentation, I came across several pivotal moments in history that stood out as truly significant. We go about our daily work activities without fully appreciating how much has changed over the years. In the next few slides, we'll take a look back at the radiology profession and explore some key dates that have played a major role in shaping where we are today. This timeline is derived directly from the ASRT. A day we should all know and love, on November 8th, 1895, Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen discovers the X-ray, marking the beginning of radiology. In the early 1900s, X-ray technology is first seen as a form of photography, with professional photographers being among the first to operate X-ray equipment. It is soon used for medical diagnosis and treatment. In the 1910s, physicians began purchasing the X-ray machines for their medical offices, and some specialize as radiologists. Initially, physicians operate the X-ray equipment themselves, but as demand for X-rays grew, some physicians began employing receptionists to operate the equipment. Receptionists had no medical knowledge and merely operated the machines. Nurses with medical training were hired as X-ray technicians in hospitals and clinics. These early technicians were mostly women and also responsible for machine maintenance. Radiation protection precautions are not yet widely adopted, and it's resulting in a high death toll among those technicians. According to the ASRT history, the struggles of undereducated and overworked X-ray technicians went largely unnoticed until the 1920s. It was during this time that Eddie C. German played a crucial role in bringing education, organization, and legitimacy to the field. In October 1920, German, along with 13 fellow technicians, half of whom were women, gathered in Chicago to establish the American Association of Radiological Technicians, the first national organization for X-ray technicians. The purpose of this new society was to provide technicians with a platform to exchange ideas and insights on radiologic techniques. The society gave technologists eager to learn the opportunity to meet, collaborate, and share knowledge. This effort was further formalized in 1929 with the launch of the Society's journal, The X-ray Technician, which provided a dedicated space for the continued exchange of technical advice and professional development. By 1932, the association had grown to nearly 400 members, and it changed its name to the American Society of X-ray Technicians. Membership remained steady through the Great Depression, but it experienced a significant surge after World War II as hundreds of military-trained radiographers returned home and sought jobs in civilian hospitals. This rapid growth led the society to hire its first full-time staff member. In 1946, the ASXT established its office in the basement of her home in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. By 1948, membership had reached 2,500 and continued to grow, reaching 4,000 by 1952. In the early 1950s, the ASXT took its first steps toward establishing formal education standards for the radiologic technology profession. Prior to this, training programs varied significantly in length and content. In 1952, the ASXT introduced its first standardized curriculum, outlining a one-year course in X-ray technology. The curriculum provided recommendations for the number of hours to be dedicated to each subject, including physics, anatomy, positioning, and darkroom techniques. This 1952 curriculum marked the beginning of many more educational standards published by the Society as it continued to advocate for uniform training across the field of radiologic technology. In 1964, the ASXT changed its name to what we now know today as the American Society of Radiologic Technologists, the ASRT. The change happened because more and more of the Society's members were nuclear medicine technologists and radiation therapists, so the term X-ray technician no longer accurately reflected the membership. In addition, members believed that the shift from technician to technologist placed a stronger emphasis on professionalism and education. The same year, the Society also changed the name of its journal to Radiologic Technology. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, it was a challenging period for both the ASRT and the radiology profession. The rapid advancement of new technologies led to a severe shortage of qualified radiologic technologists across the country. Once specialized procedures like computed tomography, mammography, and sonography were becoming all too common, and the demand for skilled professionals to operate the new equipment skyrocketed. Concerned that this shortage might lead to a rise of diploma mills, where technologists receive little formal training, the ASRT began advocating for higher educational standards and national guidelines for medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals. In 1968, the ASRT petitioned the federal government to set up regulations for the licensure of radiologic technologists. At the time, the U.S. Public Health Service estimated that there were more than 100,000 X-ray operators in the country, but only around 55,000 of them were properly certified. The ASRT supported a bill, the Consumer Patient Radiation Health and Safety Bill, that would set licensure standards for radiologic technologists, giving states 2 years to either adopt the federal standards or create their own stricter guidelines. The Consumer Patient Radiation Health and Safety Bill faced strong opposition, with significant political pressure from those against it. Despite being reintroduced in Congress year after year after year, the bill never made it past committee. While the ASRT continued to advocate for the federal bill, it also worked at the state level to push for licensure laws. In 1981, the effort finally paid off when Congress passed the Consumer Patient Radiation Health and Safety Act. The act required the Secretary of Health and Human Services to establish federal standards for the certification of radiologic technologists and the accreditation of educational programs in radiologic sciences. It also mandated that the federal government provide states with a model statute for licensure. However, the act made compliance voluntary, with no penalties for states that chose not to adopt the standards. In 1985, the ASRT found itself in a battle over licensure with the federal government after Health and Human Services Secretary Margaret M. Heckler proposed repealing the 1981 Consumer Patient Radiation Health and Safety Act. She argued that the primary risk of radiation overexposure came from faulty machinery, not from untrained equipment operators. Additionally, the Department of Health and Human Services stated it would not issue the model licensure bill to states as it required by the 1981 Act. In response, the ASRT took legal action by filing a civil suit against Heckler and her department. The ASRT's bold move attracted significant attention and even earned praise from consumer advocate Ralph Nader. Faced with public pressure, the Department of Health and Human Services reversed its stance and agreed to comply with the 1981 Act. By December 1985, the federal agency had sent copies of the model licensure bill to the governors of all 50 states. Beginning in 2000, the Consumer Assurance of Radiologic Excellence CARE bill is introduced several times in Congress, focusing on ensuring consistency, accuracy, and responsibility in medical imaging and radiation therapy. The bill seeks to amend the Public Health Service Act, requiring the Secretary of Health and Human Services to establish standards for the safety and accuracy of medical imaging and radiation therapy procedures. The CARE bill aims to set these standards for personnel who perform, plan, evaluate, or verify patient doses during these procedures, not for the equipment used. The bill was first introduced in 2000, and again in 2003, and again in 2005, but despite strong support, it faced challenges. In 2006, the bill successfully passed in the Senate, but it failed to advance in the House of Representatives. In 2007, the CARE bill was reintroduced under a new name, Consistency, Accuracy, Responsibility, and Excellence in Medical Imaging and Radiation Therapy. Despite being reintroduced in 2009, 2012, and 2013, the bill did not pass. In 2014, the ASRT shifted its focus from federal to state level efforts to establish educational and certification standards for radiologic technologists. As you can see, things do not happen overnight. There are ASRT volunteers advocating and fighting for you and the future of our profession in rooms you have never even thought of. So now that we know all of the efforts and the objectives of the ASRT and some of their important history, I want to shift to something way more fun. Let's talk about a current initiative that I mentioned in a previous slide. Has anyone here seen the Be Seen campaign? Have you heard of it? Well, before I jump into showing you the commercial that gives me goosebumps every time I watch, I want to tell you a little bit about it. The first phase of the American Society of Radiologic Technologists Be Seen campaign launched on February 20th, 2024, 1 year ago today. Originally initiated by Danny Gonzalez, the past chair of the ASRT board and past ASRT president, this campaign aims to increase the public awareness and visibility of medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals and the vital role they play in diagnosis and treatment. The first phase of the campaign includes a website and a commercial that showcases various radiologic professions and their impact on patients and the healthcare field. The ASRT collaborated with Michael Benzaya, who's both an actor and a medical imaging professional himself. Benzaya is board certified in both radiography and computed tomography. The ASRT partnered with Benzaya to create the commercial, which can be viewed on social media, streaming services, and the campaign website at asrt.org/beseen. The website features information on the 12 professions under the ASRT umbrella, scenarios where patients encounter radiologic technologists, notable technologists in the news, and a platform for patients to share their testimonials and experience with radiology professionals. Since its launch, the campaign has reached over 9 million people through the website visits, commercial views, shares, social media interactions, and news coverage. In addition to raising visibility, the campaign is designed to inspire and educate the next generation of radiology students. So my last topic tonight is how can you get involved? Overall, our goal as imaging technologists and therapists include wanting to be seen as a professional, to make positive impact in healthcare, to advance and elevate our profession, and enhance the quality and safety of patient care. Could you imagine what would happen if all medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals stood in unison? So what can you do? You can advocate on your own within your position on important issues. Speak to your managers, speak to hospital administration, speak to directors, advocate for workplace concerns, or give continuing education credits like this to your coworkers and medical imaging professionals. Advocate for your patients to have the very best care and for your fellow coworkers to have the best working conditions. You can also become a member of your state affiliate and get involved locally. You can also advocate by spreading knowledge of the profession to people you know or who may be interested in a medical imaging or radiation therapy career. Let them know who we are. We are the third largest medical profession for a reason. There is also advocacy through the ASRT engagement. Become a volunteer through the ASRT. Check out the open positions on the ASRT's Volunteer Central. And vote in the ASRT election. Have a voice in those who are chosen to represent your profession. According to Jason Bradley, the ASRT VP of Governance and Public Policy, less than 2% of active ASRT members vote in the ASRT election. For those who are members, I have provided a QR code here for quick access to the ASRT election. If you feel so inclined, the ASRT also has an ASRT advocacy training program, and applications open on May 9th. Lastly, you may also choose to advocate at the state or federal level. The ASRT Advocacy Center, as I mentioned previously, is a great place to find information about current state and federal issues and to contact your representatives with pre-filled letters. Advocacy in the radiologic technology field is the heartbeat of our profession. It is what empowers us to safeguard the integrity of what we do, elevate patient care, ensure fair compensation, promote safety, and inspire innovation. Through powerful advocacy, as we, as radiologic technologists, shape the very policies that impact our work, enhance our expertise, and fuel the growth of this dynamic field. I want to leave you with one more powerful thought. Advocacy is a marathon, not a sprint. Change takes time, and it often doesn't happen overnight. Advocacy is the bridge you build, even though you may never cross it yourself. By advocating today, you're paving the way for the future of our profession, ensuring its growth and creating a better path for generations to come. With that being said, this is not just about today, it's about future generations who will walk the path we're paving now. There will always be advocates standing strong for you and the radiologic technology profession, even if you step back. While the fight may be easier with you standing by their side, know this: the battle for progress will keep moving forward with or without you, but together we will ensure a brighter, stronger, and more empowered future for all imaging technologists. I want to truly thank you all. I am in no way an ASRT or an advocacy expert. I am an extremely passionate radiation therapist who cares deeply about elevating our profession by offering education and sharing my knowledge, building connections, and empowering the field of medical imaging and radiation therapy. Thank you for spending your Thursday evening with me.
And thank you so much for presenting today, Christina. That was incredible. And it's always so inspirational just to hear about this kind of stuff.